What's up guys, it's Will here, back again, and today we're here to do something very exciting, and that is to talk about the realism of Hot Toys. That said, before we get started, make sure to click that like button, click that subscribe button, and click that notification bell so you're notified when content goes live on this channel. That said, let's have an existential crisis with our figures. All right, guys, so let's discuss the realism of Hot Toys. Those who've been collecting Hot Toys for a while probably see this question asked pretty frequent from beginner collectors. How realistic are these things really? Are they really worth the price? Why are they so expensive? These are the questions that Hot Toys collectors get asked more often than not. And also, why do you collect them? So we're gonna do just that today. We're gonna break this video down in 4 different parts and go over why Hot Toys are super ultra realistic and why we spend the amount of money we do, which is crazy to some, I understand, on these figures. That said, let's do it. Let's start by briefly going over what a Hot Toy actually is. Hot Toys are hyper-realistic collectible action figures that are designed and manufactured in Hong Kong. They are typically 1/6 scale, so a 1/6 scale size shrunken down representation of a character, usually from Star Wars, Marvel, or DC, but sometimes other famous properties as well. These figures are designed with accuracy in mind first and foremost. So the idea is that Hot Toys offer an incredibly lifelike collectible that is authentic to influential characters from popular franchises. So now that we've tackled a brief introduction of what Hot Toys actually are, let's tackle arguably the most important part of the figure, and that is the head sculpt or likeness, the soul of the figure, as some would say. The head sculpt, also known as the likeness of the figure, is the primary reason that most collectors buy Hot Toys. Seeing a figure that looks like a shrunken down human being, or in other words, a perfect representation of a beloved character, makes the danger to your bank account all the more worth it. There are many figure companies that can create quality 1/6 figures, but there are few that are able to reach the heights Hot Toys can when it comes to realism. And I'd be willing to wager many 1/6 scale collectors got into the game of collecting because of Hot Toys and the phenomenal likenesses that they were marketing over the last decade or so. Now, it should be noted, not every Hot Toys head sculpt is an absolute banger. Some head sculpts come out looking incredible, and some come out looking like Hot Toys got drunk and someone fell on the keyboard and accidentally changed all the head sculpts on Photoshop or whatever software they use. However, more often than not, Hot Toys delivers bangers on a level hitherto undreamt of.
Did you seriously just say hitherto undreamt of?
After doing a bit of research, I learned that Hot Toys used to make their head sculpts out of clay. Usually the head sculpt was shaped to the likeness of the actor, and then they'd create a mold for which they'd eventually use that to create a final product. Nowadays, it appears the Hot Toys team is creating head sculpts digitally with the occasional clay head sculpt. No matter the method, Hot Toys head sculpts are remarkably high quality and are often very accurate representations of the character they seek to portray. How realistic are they though? Well, that depends on the figure and depends on the eye of the beholder. If you ask a non-collector, I bet they'll say every Hot Toys is incredibly realistic. If you ask an experienced collector, they'll likely be better at pointing out the true pinnacles of realism from the subpar offerings. Like any piece of art, it's subjective, and Hot Toys head sculpts are certainly no different. Now, the second factor of this equation is costume design, and that's because costume design is also one of the most crucial parts of accurate representation. Can a company accurately and faithfully recreate the essence of the character in 6 scale form? That is truly the question that needs to be asked when one is considering paying hundreds of dollars for a collectible figure. In most cases, the answer is yes as it pertains to Hot Toys. Some of the most revered Hot Toys figures are actually Iron Man figures because they are made of primarily die-cast components. These die-cast Iron Man figures not only look the part, but they feel it as well. They often have significant weightiness in hand and look every bit as detailed as you'd hope they would. There's often weathering and beautiful paint apps that make the figure feel like it flew off the screen and into your hand. Not every figure is made of metal though. Most of the other Hot Toys figures are dressed in some sort of pleather or rubber or a similar type of material, which is another discussion in itself. But while these materials are likely different than what was used on set, they faithfully recreate costumes that were originally life-size and have since been shrunk down to 1/6 scale for the purposes of figure development and manufacturing. It's also important to remember that Hot Toys is primarily in the business of creating figures that articulate, figures you can pose and engage with. This goal dictates that the material used to create the figure be durable to a reasonable degree. Many Spider-Man figures pose without the risk of damage until you leave a figure in a dynamic pose for days on end, and at that point you're likely going to start seeing some creasing in the suit because that's just how science works. Hot Toys typically prioritizes realism over articulation though, but there certainly is a healthy balance to be struck that appeals to collectors who favor one over the other. Despite that, while the material used to create the figure is likely not an exact replica of what was used on set, Hot Toys strikes that balance between accuracy and of course practicality when you're posing the figure and engaging with it every so often. I do however hope Hot Toys decides decides to retire its use of pleather on figures because that material is a time bomb for degradation. But for now, it does allow Hot Toys to more reasonably produce figures from a monetary point of view. That said, I think most collectors would happily pay more for genuine leather that looks more realistic and has greater longevity. The next important factor to discuss is accessories. Accessories are an integral part of any Hot Toys figure. The accessories they come with help the collector recreate iconic scenes and display their figure in a way that scratches that nostalgic itch. The accessories can add to the realism of the figure because they allow the figure to better capture the essence of the character. For example, how would you display Green Goblin without his glider, or Captain America without his shield, or Thor without Mjolnir or Stormbreaker? You wouldn't. Accessories are so integral to the personality of the figure, and the character for that matter, and they also allow for diversity in display because they allow the collector to harness their creativity and customize their own display. Generally speaking, Hot Toys accessories tend to look more realistic than them actually being realistic. For example, most display bases are made of some sort of plastic components, as are things like Mjolnir or other iconic weaponry associated with specific characters. Some accessories can be made of genuine leather from time to time, or even die-cast, but more often than not, they are meant to look the part from a distance rather than be a 100% faithful recreation. Still, the accessories Hot Toys include are always a crucial part of the offering, so much so that Sideshow Collectibles details them pretty thoroughly on the sales page for a specific figure. I think accessories are designed to accentuate the most striking aspects of the figure and the character, adding to the overall realism of the package. Hot Toys knows this and generally offers very high quality accessories that often do just that. And for part 4 of this video, I want to drive home the point that not every Hot Toys is ultra realistic, unfortunately. And let me try to communicate this message in a different way because we have a lot of different types of viewers who watch this type of videos. Let's say this: not every Hot Toys is a banger. Not every Hot Toys is bussin', no cap. No printer either. Not every Hot Toys is exceptional. That's the message. For every Yondu, Hela, or Killmonger, there's a Tony Stank or an Ant-Man or a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Yes, I said it. It's important to remember that even though you pre-order a figure with a prototype head sculpt that's out of this world, there's no guarantee it won't decline significantly in the final product. Generally, an acceptable decline to many collectors is around 5 to 10%. If a head sculpt declines to further depths than that, the Hot Toys collector community will generally unite and organize some sort of uprising. Not always though, sometimes no one truly cares that much about the character and therefore the figure, and nothing changes. But if Hot Toys bombs on the wrong character, they're gonna hear about it. But whether you've been collecting for 84 years like Rose from the Titanic or you're brand new, it's important to remember that Hot Toys doesn't improve prototype head sculpts more often than not. If they get enough negative feedback, they may change something, but otherwise they're going to assume your silence equals your compliance. So if you ever have an issue with the accuracy of a head sculpt or a figure in general, please voice your concerns respectfully to Hot Toys on Facebook, Instagram, or somewhere similar. While most Hot Toys are ultra realistic, we have to remember that even the best artists have a bad day at the office every now and then. All right, guys, so thank you so much for joining me on this discussion, this journey of the realism of Hot Toys. That said, guys, make sure to click the like button, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and make sure to click that notification bell so you're notified when content goes live on this channel. And of course, comment down below. Let me know your thoughts about this video. Let me know your thoughts on the realism of Hot Toys, even other companies if you want to discuss that. That'll probably be another video in the near future. That said, I would really love to hear your thoughts, what your collection is looking like nowadays, what your overall thoughts are on the realism of Hot Toys in 2024. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support as always. I will catch you in the next video. Peace out. See you later. Bye. Bye.